everyone, and welcome back to the ROLINC Recruiting Roundup, where we're covering hiring trends, best practices, and beyond. I'm Jasmine Weber.
And I'm Adrian Dominguez, CEO of ROLINC Staffing.
Yes, and this month we're going to cover workplace hiring trends for 2024. In our last video, we shared more on job certainty, remote versus hybrid work, longer interview processes, and mental health advocacy. And then today we're going to talk more about AI integration into recruitment, salary transparency, and LinkedIn for job seekers. So let's get started.
Do it.
Kick it off here. Yeah, we'll start with salary transparency. So this is a trend that we're seeing more and more of, especially with clients that are hiring nationally. The importance of salary transparency and you getting candidates that apply versus, these other states that are passing legislations that are requiring pay transparency. Here in Colorado, we've been dealing with that for a while now. But if you've got a remote national role where you're going up against these companies in other states that are showing, hey, our salary range is 90 to 100K, and this other one, I have no idea what I'm getting myself into. I don't know if they're going to lowball me. Odds are that job seekers are going to apply to the role that's giving them the most transparency.
Absolutely.
So I think it comes down to that trust, be upfront with me, be clear with me. You want to know my experience and my skills as a job seeker. I want to know what you're expecting and requiring out of the role. So I think it's going to be really important for companies, even if it's not required, to start considering being a little more transparent about salary.
I love that. And I think it kind of speaks to one of the things we talked about last time. So if 63% of people are expecting a longer interview and onboarding process in 2024, and they know that going into it, one option says, I have no idea what the pay is. One option says, here's what I know I can bank on, right? Or here's what I expect the minimum range to be. I'm probably going with this option because I already know it's going to be longer than I want it to be. And for me to spend hours, days, weeks of my life in the emotional investment, I'd like to start off with knowing. I think that's a great point.
Yeah, absolutely. So next we'll pass it off to Adrian to talk about the AI and recruitment.
Yes, you said pass off. So I just want to take another opportunity to hold this ball in front of the screen. Gonna get a lot of hate messages, I'm sure. So yeah, talking about AI, I want to be extremely transparent and tell you that I am like many of you, I think, even as someone in an executive role, trying to figure out what exact tools I can use and what we can use as a company on the recruiting side to make our processes better. Now, I think in some people's minds, it's like AI is going to take over and these cyborg robots will be recruiting and I'll no longer have a job. And that's not realistic. The vast majority, millions of Americans said, why would I ever need to go to some computer to send my resume somewhere? The jobs are in the paper. I call the number. That seems so much easier. Or I fax something. That seems so much easier. So, obviously here we are today, and you've got Monster and Career Builder and Indeed and ZipRecruiter and LinkedIn and the rest. And the point is, what seems like, why would I ever need that, eventually becomes part of the very fabric that makes the industry what it is. Yeah. And so I think it is wise for us to start dipping our feet in the water and understand that it's not going to go away. The real question is where can we use it? Now, simple example is I can go to, as an example, ChatGPT or a number of other resources now, and simply say, give me a job description for X with X amount of years of experience, working on this kind of equipment, blah, blah, blah. I can do that. It can spit it out. That doesn't mean I'm taking that, copying and pasting it. I'm looking over that. Right. And I'm going to edit what I need to edit because it still needs my touch. I want people to know it's me putting this out there. However, I didn't have to spend an hour writing that job description. So I think the companies that jump on, or at least are attempting to learn and see what they can put to work, I think they'll win. I think they'll win in recruitment.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a work smarter, not harder type of thing. Awesome. And then last point we're going to talk about today is LinkedIn for job seekers and where that's been heading. I think a lot of hiring managers want to know where all the candidates are going to find their jobs for 2024. And the answer is LinkedIn over all other platforms. It's a pretty large percentage of candidates that have shifted their job searches to LinkedIn versus using, say, ZipRecruiter, Indeed, those types of resume platforms. We've talked about this a lot, clarity and transparency. I think it comes back to that for both parties. The employers are able to see more than just a resume. They're able to see what interactions they're having with their clients, their team members, the type of values and culture that they bring to the teams they've been in the past. Really gives you more insight to, like, is this person going to mesh with what we need? And then vice versa for candidates. They're able to scope out, what's a company doing? Do I like the different communities and associations they're involved in? Do I feel like I can get behind their mission? Do I feel like I would fit in at their company Christmas party? Different things that you're getting to see on LinkedIn that you're not getting from just a job description on some of these other platforms. So if you're not connecting with people and making those relationships on LinkedIn, you may be losing out on a ton of candidates.
I think it's interesting because I recall when LinkedIn was kind of more of an obscure thing. And today it's a pretty dominant force to be reckoned with. I think it's so prevalent because it doesn't, I mean, yes, there are paid features and paid subscription programs you can sign up for: Sales Navigator, LinkedIn Recruiter, LinkedIn Premium. This is not a commercial for LinkedIn. I'm not getting paid by but the vast majority of users, it's free, and you get a chance to look and see, okay, I get as an employee, get to look into the company culture and what do they do for fun, or what is the leadership?
Right.
I'm gonna tell a true story here, if that's okay. We received a resume years ago. And so one of my things to do is, I know people would do it with me. It's free information. So, I looked up this candidate's information on LinkedIn. And to be very honest with you, Jasmine, this individual was just kind of abrasive with people. And it made me go, like, everything about your resume is amazing. Everything about your experience is phenomenal. And, I appreciate someone that has conviction. Nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, one of our core values here is empathy. And if you can't understand that the person you're talking to is coming from a different point of view, and you're just doing this with a total stranger on a public platform for professionals, it kind of makes me a little bit nervous as to how you feel.
I mean, that's rightfully so, because we all know that culture is at the top of mind for everyone nowadays, and bringing in one person that's going to kind of diminish what you're building on, that, empathy and what you cherish for your values, it can start to trickle throughout the whole team. And I've been telling all my candidates, if they don't have or have a pretty lacking LinkedIn profile, to start being a little more active on there and let people see who you are. I think it'll go a long way in getting more interviews on LinkedIn too. So that will wrap up what we have for workplace hiring trends in 2024. So thanks to everyone for tuning in for our ROLINC Recruiting Roundup. And we really hope that this was helpful. And if there's anything else that has been on your guys' radar you want to chat with us about, feel free to drop us a message. And if we can help hiring any of those skilled trades, C-level executives, sales and marketing professionals, all the way across the board, the ROLINC team is here to be a resource for you. So feel free to reach out, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks, Jasmine. See you guys.
See ya.